It's a miracle. Hi, everybody. I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And that was an amateur film, excuse me, that I bought on eBay years ago, like 20 plus years ago. And no sound. And obviously, it's a gospel story featuring kids and Jesus. I like it a lot because it is this wonderful amateur thing. Was it shot for a church camp? Was it shot for vacation Bible school? Was it shot for Sunday school? Or was it just somebody who was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I got a camera. I want to do this. That's the wonderful thing about finding stuff like this, is trying to figure out, like, why did that exist? Did they show it to anybody? I mean, obviously it's edited. I don't know if it was edited in camera, but I could go back and see if it's spliced. But I guess they spliced in that stained glass window of Jesus praying. As someone is praying to Jesus, he is also praying. Anyways, let's watch Jack go to Costa Rica. Enjoy.
A man in the importing business, like Mr. Dixon, gets letters from businessmen all over the world. But this morning, Mr. Dixon is particularly interested in a letter from Costa Rica. It's a letter from his son, Jack. Jack is spending a week in Costa Rica as the guest of a coffee dealer who does business with Mr. Dixon. Jack's first letter told about his airplane ride. In one day, he traveled from the United States to the Republic of Costa Rica in Central America. When Jack arrived in the city of San Jose, capital of Costa Rica, he looked for Mr. Garcia, who was to meet him at the airport. He was wearing an American flag and the flag of Costa Rica. Then he saw the people who had come to meet him. There was Mr. Garcia, his daughter Isabel, and his two sons, Alberto and Mario. Mario was about the same age as Jack. The first thing Jack noticed was that these friendly people of Costa Rica were very much like the people in his own country. During the ride from the airport, Jack saw some of the city of San Jose. They passed a large church, and a little farther on, they entered the downtown district, which even had streetcars. In the suburbs, many of the beautiful houses were of Spanish style. When they reached the house, Mario's mother welcomed Jack with "Buenos dias," which means good day. Jack was hungry after his long trip and glad to join the family at breakfast. But the breakfast food was a little different. Papaya, a tropical fruit, is a favorite, as well as café con leche, which is coffee mixed with hot milk. There was also cheese and bread, enough of everything to satisfy a growing boy's appetite. Table manners, Jack noticed, were very much like those in our own homes. When breakfast was over, Mario suggested that they all go out into the garden. Mr. and Mrs. Garcia were very proud of their enclosed garden, or patio. And Mario was eager to show Jack around and make him feel at home. He showed Jack a tropical bush and invited him to sample the sweet berries. Meanwhile, Isabel was called by her father to see the lovely orchid in full blossom. These beautiful tropical flowers are common in Costa Rica and other countries of South and Central America. More familiar to Jack were the tomatoes that Mario cultivated during his spare time. But there is never enough spare time. Monday meant school, and Jack accompanied Mario to class. The public elementary school where Mario was in the 6th grade was a large modern building, and Jack was eager to see Mario's classroom. All rooms were arranged around a sunny patio. Inside, Mario took his place at his desk and began writing his lesson, in Spanish, of course. Jack had a little trouble, so he wrote down some of the Spanish words for Mario to explain to him in English after school. Spanish, the language of Costa Rica, is a very important school subject. Other subjects were English, geography, mathematics, science, and art. Just about the same things we learn in our schools. And after school, there was time for the playground, a large one with plenty of swings and slides for the boys and girls to use. Not only did these children have playgrounds like ours, but the boys even played baseball. Yes, the baseball bats that Jack gave to Mario found plenty of use after school. Costa Rican boys love baseball and play it well. When Jack's father received the second letter from his son, there were some snapshots in it. They showed some of the other things Jack saw and did. For instance, one morning, Jack and Mario saw a karate contest in a little town. To watch this annual celebration, they joined the people on the steps of the church. A karate contest is a kind of show in which the caretas, or ox carts, are displayed by their owners. Prizes are given to the owners of the carts that are most beautifully decorated. Farmers of Costa Rica are very proud of their painted caretas and the oxen that pull them. The oxen are used for farm work just as we might use horses or mules. Every part of the cart is covered with colorful designs. The caretas come from every farm for miles around, and people in Costa Rica can tell where a farmer comes from by the colors and designs of his cart. After leaving this country town, the boys visited a hacienda, or farm. Here they found plenty to see and do. They made friends with a hen and her chicks. Then they watched one of the farmhands hitch up a team of oxen to a carreta. The oxen are hitched together with a large wooden collar called a yoke. Then the yoke is fastened tightly with leather straps or thongs, and the team is ready to haul a load of sugar cane. Mario and Jack thought they knew enough about carretas to hitch up a small one of their own. 2 small calves took the place of oxen, and tying on the yoke was easy. But it wasn't quite as easy to make the calves behave. They were too young and frisky. But there were other things to do. The boys ran through the cornfield to another part of the farm, where Mario's uncle showed them some coffee bushes. These are the plants that give us the coffee bean, which is ground to make coffee. This white blossom produces the coffee bean. The boys continued their trip with Mario's parents and rode from the farm down to the hot seacoast. There they visited a cocoa plantation. The boys saw hundreds of cocoa trees, all bearing cocoa pods. The boys picked a pod to see what it contained. When they cut it open, they found it filled with cocoa seeds, which are covered with a soft white skin. To get cocoa as we know it, these soft white seeds must be thoroughly dried in the sun. There they turn brown, the familiar cocoa color. Later, they are ground into cocoa powder. Cocoa and coffee are 2 of the many products that Costa Rica sends to us. Another product is balsa wood. This is the light, soft wood that is used in building model airplanes. In this sawmill, Jack and Mario saw the balsa logs being cut into pieces to be sent from Costa Rica to other countries. The workmen in the mill gave Jack and Mario some balsa wood to take with them. When they reached home, they lost no time in using it to make model airplanes. Jack wanted to make the very best plane he knew how, to give to Mario in return for his wonderful visit. The model planes reminded Jack that soon he would be on a real plane, going back to the United States. It wasn't easy to say goodbye to this friendly family. Jack had learned to love them, every one. Isabel gave Jack an orchid, and a kiss, too. Just an old Spanish custom. And here was a wonderful gift from Mario. A toy carreta, complete with the oxen and all the gay colors of a real cart of Costa Rica. What a gift to show his friends at home. And so it was goodbye to Costa Rica, with its city of San Jose, its country towns and friendly people. Hasta luego, said Mario. Hasta luego. So long. And so Jack's visit to Costa Rica was over, and a few hours later, his plane was nearing his hometown. The journey was ended, but the things he had seen and learned, Jack would remember always.
So that's from yesterday. So I was out of town. I was visiting family, so I decided, hey, I'll show this awesome documentary called The Horror of It All. And so it featured a lot of clips of horror movies. And man, YouTube was constantly taking down the stream. Then it would pop back up again, then take it down again. Pop back up, down. So I apologize for that. That was it was a bit of a gamble. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I should have just went with my gut and known what was going to happen. Hopefully, you got to see some stuff. And surprisingly, it's up now. Like if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see it, and advertising goes to different people, but it stopped the stream, which was really annoying. So, yeah, I hope you had a good Halloween in spite of that. I did. It was great. I got to see, it's my stepsister's birthday, so I got to see her and family, etc. So, Speedball for girls. Not what you think.
Speedball is one of the newest sports activities for girls, and it is growing rapidly in popularity all over the nation. Speedball is a healthful game and highly challenging to the players in the speed and variety it offers in player skills and scoring technique. Here is a fast game which is a combination of soccer and basketball with a little football thrown in for good measure. And it's an inexpensive sport requiring simple equipment. An official team is made up of 11 players. 5 forwards named center forward, left and right inner, and left and right wing. 3 halfbacks called center halfback and left and right halfback. 2 fullbacks, left and right, and 1 goalkeeper. Here is the lineup for the teams at the beginning of the game and for all kickoffs. The game is started by a kickoff from the midfield line. As long as the ball is rolling or bouncing, or on rare occasions stationary on the field, It is called a ground ball and must be advanced by kicking, dribbling with the feet as in soccer, or volleying. But when kicked up into the air, it becomes an aerial or fly ball. Now it may be played with the hands, or it can be put back into play as a ground ball at the player's option. A ground ball may be converted into an aerial ball by a technique called the kick-up. Here's how the kick-up to self works in slow motion. Note that the foot leaves the ground and actually gives impetus to the ball before the hands take the ball. It looks so easy, but it takes practice to become skilled in it, and it's a useful technique. Another type of kick-up is useful, the kick-up directly to a teammate in a better position to advance the ball. That's one to watch in slow motion. Player alert, moving to get on the ball. Weight on the left foot, arms extended easily for better balance. Get set so the ball is a little to your right. And as it comes close, get your toes under the ball. Flex the ankle, toes curling up. Get lift on the ball. The higher the follow-through, the better chance your teammate has of receiving a good high pass, easily handled. When you don't follow through correctly, you force the receiver to do a kick-up to self. If the ball is a ground ball, it must be played with the feet until it is lifted into the air by a kick or kick-up. Only then can it be passed, drop-kicked, or punted. Since the speedball field is more than 6 times the size of a basketball court, longer distances must be covered in aerial passing, and long, accurate kicking is an essential skill. Every speedball player must be skilled in the 3 types of kicking. For the biggest point score in speedball, 3 points, the drop kick is an effective scoring method. Penalty kicks are drop kicks made from the penalty kick line, and if good, score 1 point. Here's the technique of the drop kick in slow motion. Ball held rather low, slightly to right. Now timing is very important. Step forward on left foot, drop the ball. The right foot swings through. Instep meeting the ball just as it bounces up. Watch the rhythm of the kick, the drop and step practically simultaneous. The foot meets the ball just as it rebounds from the ground. The punt is adopted from football. Any player may use it to advance the ball. A punt may be made after an aerial ball has been caught or following a kick-up to self. When the ball is near the scoring area, the goalkeeper often punts to get the ball as far away as possible. Here's the punt in slow motion. Drop the ball, kicking leg swings through, knee straightened, then follow through. Watch it again. Ball held out, arm's length and waist high. Kicking leg back, knee bent. Only 1 step is allowed. Timing is most important. Notice, left heel leaves the ground, giving greater force to the kick. The 3rd type of kick is the place kick, used for kickoff, and also used for free kicks following fouls. The kicker stands 2 steps behind the stationary ball, weight on kicking foot. 1 step forward, kicking leg back, then forward. Toe striking ball below center, knee slightly bent. The player can control the height of the ball, getting greater distance when desired. This gives your teammates a chance to get down there under the ball. Passing techniques are like those used in basketball. The juggle is used to confuse and evade close guarding. Here's the juggle in slow motion. Body turned away from the opponent. A short, well-arched pass. Get into position to catch it again. Juggling is useful, enabling a player to cover space while evading an opponent and giving time for teammates to get into better positions for play. The hook pass is important because of the distance you can cover with it. And when the technique is mastered, it's a most accurate way of advancing the ball. The ball is held in one hand, resting against the forearm, and is brought up and over the head. Get the back muscles into this. As soon as the ball is overhead, the shoulder and arm go forward. Wrist is snapped to give speed to the ball. Watch the shorter arc of the arm and the faster pass resulting. Clean, accurate passes are essential to good aerial play and for completing a touchdown, which scores 2 points. The player in the field of play beyond the penalty area must pass to a teammate who catches the ball behind the goal line, not through the goalpost. The third method of scoring in Speedball is the field goal, familiar to all soccer players. To be legal, a field goal must be a ground ball, not aerial, and it must be kicked or impelled by the body across the goal line between the goalposts and under the crossbar. The field goal is usually achieved as a result of good teamwork and cooperation. It scores 2 points. Let's look in on a session of practicing basic skills. Since Speedball is a game of very fast action, it demands skill on the part of every player to get the most enjoyment out of the game. One basic skill peculiar to Speedball is the kick-up, converting a ground ball into an aerial one. Here's the kick-up to self with a stationary ball. A stationary ball is rare in an actual game, but this is an excellent practice drill and prepares you for the technique of kick-up when the ball is in motion in a game. Notice that the toe gets under the ball and lifts it. Next step is the quick kick-up to a teammate. Here's a variation of the kick-up to self. Both feet wedge the ball, and with a jump, flip it up into the player's hands. And there's a right way to receive an aerial pass. For a high ball above the waist, fingers up, and let the body help cushion the ball. For a low pass, fingers down, and let the arms give a little. Keep your fingers spread and relaxed, curved a little. A kicked ball travels hard and fast, so you must make your body give with the ball and pull it in to cushion it against your body. Remember the timing in the drop kick, drop and step, almost together? The punt timing is different. Step left, kick right, follow through. And in reviewing the aerial passes, accuracy is the key word. Put them where your teammate can get them. Remember the chest pass, the hook pass, and the underhand. And don't forget how useful the juggle can be. Let's go. Get into the game. Speedball offers excitement, excellent team spirit, and a chance to use game strategy of the highest sort.
Speedball. Everybody's playing it. So it looks like it was made in 1921 by Elmer D. Mitchell, and it was mostly played at Milburn High School in New Jersey, and according to Wikipedia, the sport is still struggling to turn into an actual sport played by a club and high school teams. So there you go, Speedball. Who'da thunk it? Let's see. Let's learn about some unfriendly flora and fauna. Enjoy.
The overwhelming majority of wild plants and animals pose no dangers to mankind. Even the more maligned creatures, such as snakes, usually prove to be harmless. But among the myriad of safe and beautiful things we enjoy lurk a few exceptions. Our unfriendly flora and fauna. They present hazards that can spoil a vacation or end a life. Each year, 2 million North Americans break out with an itching rash caused by this plant, poison ivy, or by its close cousin, poison oak. Many of us recognize the 3 distinctive waxy leaves, but we don't always know that we've been afflicted until it's too late. Poison ivy, a shrub or vine, with clusters of tiny berries, can spread misery in sneaky ways. Its harmful sap may travel in smoke, on clothing, or on the fur of pets. If you think you've encountered poison ivy or poison oak, even indirectly, wash promptly, or you could develop a terrific itch. In autumn, poison ivy turns red, but it's still potent. After the leaves fall, the vines continue their itchy work. Watch for them growing around trees or fence rows. They're usually attached by hairy tendrils. Other plants that bring temporary misery include the drab-looking stinging nettle. Found in eastern woodlands, stinging nettle has poisoned spines on its leaves and on its stem. Just a quick touch brings a sharp, itchy sting. Our most dangerous plants have poisons more than skin deep. The mature pokeweed, growing up to 10 feet tall, is toxic if eaten. Reddish stems help identify it, as do the attractive berries. Both are poisonous. Strangely enough, birds consume the berries without apparent ill effect. Often wildlife can eat plants that we can't, so don't let animals be your kitchen guides. The white snake root can be lethal even secondhand. Cows that eat it give poisoned milk. Abraham Lincoln's mother allegedly died from such poisoned milk. On this knife are seeds that produce several reactions in man, including toxic delirium. They come from Jimson weed, which is common in backyards and waste places. In addition to hallucinations, the seeds from Jimson weed pods also cause breathing and circulatory disorders. Hospitalization may be required. Jimson weed poisoning is not only unpleasant, it is potentially fatal. Livestock avoids the plant. So should man. Several dozen other widely varied species of plants are poisonous. Few generalizations may be made about them, except to say they are poisonous. To avoid problems, don't eat wild plants unless you know they're safe. Mushrooms and other fungi must also be picked with caution. There are thousands of kinds, and identification can be difficult. Though most species are safe, and a few taste downright delicious, a number of them are toxic. To identify mushrooms, several features must be examined, including the size, shape, and color of the cap and of the stem. The presence or absence of a ring on the stem might be important. And the color and texture of the gills and their tiny spores can be critical too. Even the manner in which the gills meet the stem must often be considered for proper identification. Just a single bite of this mushroom might be fatal. The aptly named Death Angel ranks among the world's deadliest. A member of the dangerous Amanita family, it has a bulbous base. It also has a ring on the stem and white spores that are revealed in a special test. Another toxic amanita is the fly agaric, with its reddish-orange cap. Not every amanita is poisonous, but to be safe, avoid this entire mushroom family. Certain mushrooms are poisonous just some of the time. The inky cap, which self-destructs by dissolving into an inky goo, is edible when young, but only if no alcohol is consumed for 3 days before or after eating it. Other mushrooms cause illness only in certain people. In general, like flowering plants, unfamiliar mushrooms must be left alone while gathering wild foods. In addition to unfriendly flora, you may meet some unfriendly fauna in the outdoors. Everybody's nose knows the skunk is not safe. It has powerful scent glands at the base of its tail. The well-protected skunk has little fear. If you meet one, give it plenty of room. Skunks mean no harm until they cock their tails. Then they're ready to spray. Tomato juice lessens odor on clothing. An even more fearsome tale belongs to the rattlesnake. Perhaps not all fear of snakes is justified. 10 times more Americans are killed by lightning than die from snake bites. Over 20 kinds of rattlers inhabit a variety of landscapes coast to coast. Some species favor hilly forests with rock ledges for sunbathing on cool days. Others may be found in western deserts or prairies, and still others prefer swamps. Many bites occur near vacant or occupied rural buildings where snakes hide in lumber piles or under tin or other debris on the ground. Snakes need shelter. The timber rattlesnake of the east might seek hollow logs. All rattlers belong to a family of venomous snakes called pit vipers. Another pit viper is the copperhead, found in hilly and lowland regions throughout the eastern and central United States. Copperhead bites rarely prove fatal to humans, and the snake seems to prefer fleeing to biting. Most individuals have a distinctive, easily recognized pattern of hourglass-shaped bands. The cottonmouth is also a pit viper. Most snakes have white mouths, but the cottonmouth shows his in defense. It lives in waterways of the south. Unless you know snakes well, avoid all aquatic species in cottonmouth habitat. The species varies greatly in appearance. However, not all aquatic snakes are cottonmouths. The bite of this fish-eating water snake is not poisonous. If you meet a cottonmouth, stay still. Let it crawl or swim away. Don't move suddenly. The pit viper head is distinctive. The pupils of its eyes are elliptical, and there is a prominent pit, which is a sensory device, between the eye and nostril. Also, the underside of the tail, behind the anal opening of these snakes, has only a single row of scales. Most non-poisonous snakes have 2 rows. North America's only other strongly poisonous snake is the coral snake. This beautiful species of the deep south lacks the facial pit and other features of the pit vipers. It can be deadly, but with its small mouth, it rarely bites. The coral snake's ringed pattern resembles a traffic light. Red is next to yellow. None of the imitators such as this scarlet king snake, have red bands next to yellow. If you visit areas where there are poisonous snakes, especially pit vipers, wear high-topped boots and watch where you put your hands and feet. For example, don't step directly over a log. Step on it. Make sure no snake is on the other side. Then proceed. When climbing hillsides, check handholds. If necessary, toss something into thickets to see if a snake stirs. And look around ledges carefully. A few seconds of caution could save days of discomfort. 99% of bites from poisonous snakes are not fatal, just very, very painful. If bitten, stay calm. Lie down if you have to. Send for medical aid, or walk to it slowly. Don't panic. Panic will only spread the venom faster. The Gila monster is another venomous reptile native to North America. This sluggish creature of desert country almost never bites unless handled. But if the Gila monster does bite, it holds on like a bulldog while its poisonous saliva sinks in. The scorpion is most abundant in the southwest, but various species range far to the north and east. A backside stinger is the scorpion's weapon. Some species have stingers that are lethal. Scorpions hide under rocks, or sometimes in an empty shoe. Check your shoes in the morning when camping in scorpion country. Probably the most dangerous wild killers of all are bees. 4 out of 1,000 people are allergic to bee venom, and one sting may be fatal. Bees and their relatives annually claim over 100 lives in the United States alone. Hornets are the most potent of the clan. The bald-faced hornet lives in a hanging, top-shaped papier-mâché nest. You must stay away from this nest. Hornets protect it with determination and with stingers that can cause extreme pain. A bright red hourglass on the belly of a spider tells us it's time to stay away. It belongs to the female black widow. Her potent poison used for killing prey can make us very sick. Fortunately, it is seldom fatal. Her mate is nearly harmless. The black widow spins her untidy webs to capture prey in dark, dry places, under stones or logs, or in basements, garages, and outhouses. The bite of the brown recluse spider creates a sore that won't heal without a doctor's help. A vague fiddle-shaped mark on the back helps identify this species, which frequents log piles, storage sheds, and even dusty corners in our homes. Both the recluse and the widow are shy and may dwell near us our entire lifetime without a conflict. Indeed, we need never have a serious conflict with any of our wild plants and animals. The unfriendly ones comprise only a small minority, and with a bit of caution, we may enjoy a full range of safe and pleasurable outdoor activities year after year.
Isn't even really talking about allergies, allergens, all the things that make it difficult for people to be outside. We're in Copperhead country here in Raleigh, where the studio or the archive is, and so on the Nextdoor app, social media, there's always postings about Copperhead sightings, always, and people have this amazing irrational fear of them. So Okay, so behind me I have a film scanner and a film setup, and we are going to watch a film made in, I believe, 1936 about the Dust Bowl. It's called The Plow That Broke the Plains. Enjoy.
The grasslands, a treeless, wind-swept continent of grass, stretching from the broad Texas panhandle up through the mountain reaches of Montana to the Canadian border. A country of high winds and sun. High winds and sun. Without river, without stream, with little rain. First came the cattle. An unfenced range 1,000 miles long, an uncharted ocean of grass, a southern range for winter grazing, and the mountain plateaus for summer. It was a cattleman's paradise. Rio Grande, in from the rolling prairies, down clear from the eastern highlands, the cattle rolled into the old buffalo range. Fortunes in beef. For a decade, the world discovered the grasslands and poured cattle into the plains. The railroads brought markets to the edge of the plains. Land syndicates sprang up overnight, and the cattle rolled into the west. The world into the plains. New population, new needs crowded the last frontier. Once again, the plowman followed the herder, and the pioneer came to the plains. Make way for the plowman. Came to the plains. High winds and sun, high winds and sun, a country without rivers and with little rain. Settler, plow at your peril. 200 miles from water, 200 miles from town, but the land is new. Many were disappointed. The rains failed and the sun baked the light soil. Many left. They fought the loneliness and the hard years. The rains failed them. new causes, new profits, new hope. reaped the golden harvest. Then we really plowed the plain. We turned under millions of new acres for war wheat. We had the manpower. We invented new machinery. The world was our market. 1893, the old grasslands had become the new wheatland. 100 million acres, 200 million acres, more wheat. Country without rivers, without streams, with little rain. Once again, the rains held off and the sun baked the earth. This time, no grass held moisture against the winds and the sun. This time, millions of acres of plowed land lay open to the sun. staked out, blown out, and broke. Year in, year out, uncomplaining, they fought the worst drought in history. Their stock choked to death on the barren land. Their homes were nightmares of swirling dust, night and day. Many went ahead of them, but many stayed until stock, machinery, homes, credit, food, and even hope were gone. On to the west. Once again, they headed for the setting sun. Once again, they headed west. Last year, in every summer month, 30,000 people left the Great Plains and hit the highways for the Pacific coast, the last border. Blown out, staked out, and broke. Nothing to stay for, nothing to hope for. Homeless, penniless, and bewildered, they joined the great army of the highway. No place to go, and no place to stop. Nothing to eat, nothing to do. Their homes on four wheels, their work a desperate gamble for a day's labor in the fields along the highway. Price of a sack of beans or a tank of gas. All they ask is a chance to start over, and a chance for their children to eat, to have medical care, to have homes again. 50,000 a month. The sun and winds wrote the most tragic chapter in American agriculture.
I apologize for the dead dog. Did not know that was in there. Anyhow, yeah, that was made 1936, while the Dust Bowl problems were happening, while the Depression was happening. And so, you know, I think it was the relocation service of the federal government that was trying to move people away from these impoverished, dirt poor places that where the soil had been spent, that there wasn't enough rain, but also the farming practices were not helping replenish the nutrients in the soil. So yeah, early before World War II. That's what we were dealing with. And so it's a fascinating film. And yeah, thanks for tuning in today. Very much appreciate it. We'll be back again tomorrow. When is tomorrow? Thursday? Yes, we'll be back. What a wonderful way to start November is with you folks. I appreciate your eyeballs and your attention and your comments. And also your thumbs ups and your likes and your subscriptions. Those are all great ways to support us. You can also go use the super thanks button to say thank you with some cash, which we will spend on shelving units or rental units that we have. We have 4, and we've been moving stuff there to get them out of the basement so we can do some work on the basement to get it back up to snuff. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, everybody. It's great being back, and everybody have a great rest of your day. Take care.